वंदन है अभिनंदन है आप सभी का इस शुभ अवसर पर हार्दिक अभिनंदन है. This is Mitali Agarwal, Public Relations Officer, IIT Hyderabad, welcomes you all on this gracious occasion of inauguration of building for Department of Biotechnology and Biomedical Engineering. To take the gathering forward, I request our Director, Professor B.S. Murthy, to please address the gathering.
Good morning, friends. Thank you to Professor Balram Bhargava and the senior representative from JECA who have joined us in an online fashion for this very, very momentous occasion, which we have been waiting for quite some time. You can see the phase 2 is taking up shape. One after the other, the buildings have been coming up. We had inaugurated our school. That was the beginning of the phase 2. On August 2nd, then August 18th, we had our Material Science and Metallurgical Engineering building was inaugurated. Now it's time for both the Biotechnology Department and Biomedical Department, who have been eagerly waiting for this building to be ready so that they can expand to a greater extent than what they have been doing, is now going to be handed over to them. And I'm extremely happy that we have been able to complete this in a reasonably faster manner than what we actually anticipated last 1 year. 1.5 years, I would say, has been not so good for all of us, but thanks to my friends of L&T who have been working very hard and meeting the kind of tougher deadlines that I keep giving them, and they have been able to bring up this particular building. It's a happy occasion to all of us, and I wish that the departments utilize this growth for them to ensure that they become leaders, not only in the country, but globally within the fields of both biomedical engineering and biotechnology. Thank you very much.
Now I request our beloved Chairman, Dr. B.S. Murthy, to please bless us with his words of wisdom.
Professor Balram Bhargava, the Director General of ICMR, Mr. Saito Mitsumori, the Chief Rep of JICA, Professor B.S. Murthy, faculty members, and my dear students. A very good morning to all of you. Another monumental day in the history of IIT Hyderabad. As Professor B.S. Murthy mentioned, we inaugurated our school, we inaugurated 2 more departments thereafter. It's now running at a rapid pace. So congratulations to all the people who are putting all that effort to make sure that the campus is progressing at a pace which we like it to be. Actually, slow down, not because of our reasons, because of the pandemic, but I'm glad that's moving forward. My humble submission to our friends who are helping us in doing these buildings is that please complete this by the time our students come back. The fresh students come back for the academic year 22-23. So therefore, we still have, I'm not pushing you into a deadline, which is tomorrow. We still have about 7, 8, or even to that matter, 9 months. But it'd be very nice at that point of time to see the students coming in saying that we see a complete campus as opposed to a campus in construction. So I also like to take this opportunity to extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Balram Bhargava. I've heard about him, I read about him, very impressive person that he is, extremely accomplished. And what for people like me who come from the corporate world impresses is that a medical doctor who is spending a fairly large amount of time in terms of design and innovation of devices and also mentoring a number of startups. I think that is what is needed in this nation right now. We need more amount of import substitution. It's not just to make sure that we become self-reliant. I think what is more important is we have to make in India, for India, and then rest of the world. Our issues, our local issues with even medical environment are different from the global issues. So therefore, I think I really like what Professor Bhargava is doing, and I like to thank him for making time to come for the inauguration this morning. My few words thereafter are, I'm delighted that we have a biotechnology and biomedical engineering departments in IIT Hyderabad. Very unique compared to any other IIT. Like many things that we have done, we are first in having biotechnology undergrad, biomedical engineering undergrad. On that count, a round of applause to the director and the rest of the faculty. Great job done. 2 years, 2 consecutive years we've had 2 undergrad programs which are starting off. In an area which I think there is a crying demand at this point of time. Because one is just saying technology is coming in, so can I get a new product? So if you get a product of this nature, I think you can serve many more people. One of the things that people talk about in India is the ratio between doctor and patient. They say, this is obnoxious numbers India has. It's very high. A doctor can never service this number of people. But what I think the good news we have is with technology interventions, the doctor could serve many more people. He could also serve people who have not been served so far. You look at the remotest locations and so on and so forth. So I could not spend more time in emphasizing the importance of biotechnology and biomedical engineering for this country. So therefore, I think there's a great opportunity in front of us. My only humble submission is to make sure that these students become very holistic. We got to make sure that they also learn more amount of the medicine, medical care, the health-related issues too. So I think NEP 2020 does provide us a number of those options. You could have interdisciplinary courses. You could tie up with other education institutions, and we can also have fungibility of courses. So I'm not a strong believer that we should develop all the core competencies within IIT Hyderabad. We've got some amazing core competencies at this point in time. But please also have an open mind to make sure that we collaborate with others. Because especially in the times and days we live, we keep saying innovation is not any longer closed innovation. It can't be happening in glass cubicles. It is from all over. In actually corporate world, in companies like ours, we don't talk about having innovation group, because to us, innovation has to be part and parcel of everybody's life. So therefore, my submission is that you have, and that everybody's life means that it has to be every facet of it. We may not have the strongest of humanities department. We may not have the strongest psychology department with here. But if you probably, or for that matter, a medical department, you all have the big fortune of being in Hyderabad, which is a pharma capital, it's a biotech capital, and added to that, some of the best healthcare units in this country are here in Hyderabad. And I'm delighted that you already have an MOU signed with very eminent institutions like Asian Institute of Gastroenterology. So we have all the ingredients falling in place. We have a department, we have very competent faculty, we have an NEP 2020, which makes it possible for us to have more amount of flexibility. So the ball is now in your court to say that, look, we produce the best of products, given that ICMR was very generous in terms of giving us a 15 crore grant. Thank you very much, Professor Bhargava. On behalf of IIT Hyderabad, the board and all the members, we'd like to thank you for your generosity in supporting us. I'd like to assure you, Professor Dr. Bhargava, that the type of work that's being done, you should come and visit us sometime. I know you're very busy because of the COVID-19. We see you on the TV occasionally. But I think once things settle down, please come and see the work, how well we're going to put your 15 crores to use. Thank you very much again for supporting us, and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Now I request our today's guest of honor, Mr. Mitsumori Saito-san, Chief Representative JICA, to please help us with his vote of understanding.
Professor Bhargava, Secretary, Department of Health Research, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Dr. Mohan Reddy, Chairman, Governors, IITH, and Professor Murthy, Director, IITH. So JICA has been associated with IITH since long through various support through finance, technical cooperation, joint research into Japan, and public-private partnership projects. Today, we are very much delighted to see the inauguration of one of the facilities that JICA finances. But today, we have a particular attachment and interest for these facilities to play a crucial role in India's fight against the COVID-19. We are aware that even so far, IITH has already made several contributions in the fight against the pandemic through provision of test kits, masks, ventilators, mathematical models, and the sanitizing solution, awareness raising activities, etc., etc. We are hopeful that inauguration of these facilities will be another boost for IITH's honorable efforts to tackle this threat to the whole humanities. As you know, the whole world is anxiously watching and expecting more and more to come out from Hyderabad. To conclude, I would like to share JICA's continuous commitment to support for further development of IITH, another shining example of Ind-Japan cooperation. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best.
Now it's time to welcome and introduce our honorable chief guest for today's event, Professor Dr. Balram Bhargava. We are really honored, sir, to have a dignitary like you on board with us, sir, for today's occasion. May you please address again.
Thank you so much for your very, very kind words. I hope I'm able to live up to this expectation. Our beloved and honorable director, Professor Dr. D.S. Murthy, the chairman of the Board of Governors of IITH, Dr. B.V.R. Mohan Reddy, Mr. Mitsunori Saito from JICA, Dr. K.B.V.N. Fanindra, the Associate Dean Planning of IITH, and the other dignitaries from L&T and other agencies who have helped in developing this IIT, as well as helped in developing this particular department of biotechnology and biomedical engineering. At the outset, I'd like to congratulate not only IIT itself for reaching such a high rank within a span of very short time. It is one of the 8 young IITs, and it has contributed to more than 6,000 research papers within this span. So this is highly commendable and speaks volumes about the leadership who have steered it and taken it to this level. I also would like to thank L&T for their timely completion of this project and the state-of-the-art building of nearly 100,000 square feet of space for biomedical engineering. This is absolutely phenomenal. This is the Karma Bhumi. This is where we have to demonstrate to our country that we can be self-sufficient, not only in many things, but in medical devices, which are contributing to a large number of imports to our country. More than 80% of medical devices are imported. So just to put things in perspective, I would like to emphasize that as we are going to celebrate the 75 years of independence, I often ask many youngsters who are attending this meeting, I often ask them, what has India done well in these 75 years? And many of them would just say, we have done well in IT and mobile. And then they stop. Then I ask further, what else has India done well in? Then they say, well, India has done well in space and nuclear. We are launching satellites for many parts of the world. We have done phenomenally well in the nuclear program. And we are self-sufficient in nuclear energy in a large percentage of the energy is being provided by nuclear sources in our country. What else has India done well in? And when I ask, I think the important thing that we have forgotten a lot is that I belong to a generation when we were asked to miss a meal because we had the public law PL 480 program after our Indo-China war in 1965. And the slogan at that time was Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. We had shortage of food grains. And food grains were being imported from many parts of the world, whether it be from Australia or from America under the Colombo Plan. But we were able to demonstrate with the Green Revolution that we are self-sufficient in food production and we are exporting food grains to different parts of the world. So this is what we have done phenomenally well in our 75 years of since independence. our army has been so strong and our armed forces have protected our borders at all sides for over the last 75 years and kept the integrity of the country so well. So I would congratulate that also. In the last 75 years, we have done well. What have we done well in the health sector? I think in the last 75 years, we have become self-sufficient in medicines. We have become we have been exporting 60% of the generic medicines. The pharma industry has done phenomenally well. And the IITs and the other health facilities have trained people in India, which have become self-sufficient in postgraduate education, whether it be engineering or medical education. So the next frontier, and with these IITs and these departments, the next frontier is that India should become an international hub, not only for medical education, but also for medical health and for medical teaching and also for innovation. And I think in the last decade, we have seen tremendous amount of innovation happen across the country. And this has been taken up predominantly by IITs, some medical institutions, and also by the NITI Aayog, the Atal Innovation Mission, and the Atal Tinkering Labs. And I think that is another area where IITs will have to play a major role. And I'm sure with the presence of ICMR at IIT and the medical and the engineering fraternity working together for innovating, as Dr. Reddy has clearly said, that we have to innovate not only for India, but for the rest of the world. And I think sky is the limit with the intellectual prowess of the intelligent and the bright students that we have at IIT Hyderabad. I think this will be the next frontier which they will work for India, and at IIT Hyderabad will be the Karma Bhumi to take this mandate forward. And I'm sure and I'm certain that this IIT Hyderabad, and with this 100,000 square foot of space in the Department of Biotechnology and the Department of Biomedical Engineering, we will see newer innovations, new IPs, new patents, new publications, new startups, and new technologies which will be taken up in the national program after health technology assessment, cost effectiveness, and I would urge the students to remain grounded, remain frugal innovation, remain and perform innovation which is of low cost and yet effective, and not build up the bill of the patients and the people receiving these technologies. So with all these words, I congratulate IIT again. I congratulate the dynamic director, Dr. Professor Murthy, for leading this IIT and setting up this brilliant department, which is unique in IIT. And I think this will start the next wave of IIT and medical collaboration for medical devices, the next wave. And I wish him all the best, wish all the faculty all the best, wish all the dignitaries on the dais and illuminaries in the audience who've joined by VC all the best. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Now, sir, with your kind permission, can we start the virtual inauguration of the...
Please, it is an honor and I wish you all success. Please go ahead.
Now I request our Associate Dean, Dr. K.V. Fanendra, to please propose a vote of thanks for today's event.
On behalf of IIT Hyderabad, it's a great opportunity for me to propose the vote of thanks on this auspicious day of the inauguration of Biotech and Biomed Department buildings. First of all, the Institute sincerely thank Professor Balram Bhargava, Director General, ICMR, for accepting the invitation and also providing direction on his expectations from the Institute and the departments in terms of the growth and for the needs of the country. The Institute also thank Mr. Mitsunori Saito-san, the Chief Representative JICA India Office, for all the support which is actually resulting in the development of such a beautiful buildings under the phase 2. The Institute sincerely thanks the dynamic leadership of Dr. B.V.R. Mohan Reddy, the founder chairman of the SINT and also the chairman DG of the Institute, for all his constant encouragement and support to the Institute faculty, students, and all. And the building is here because of the efforts of many teams. First, the institute also thanks L&T team, team of the entire L&T for bringing the building, and the team of the TCE who is constantly monitoring the progress at every stage of the construction and also associated with maintaining the quality standards, and the team of the CMD and the planning of the IIT Hyderabad who are there day and night actually frequently monitoring the progress. And finally, the institute sincerely thanks the leadership of Professor B.S. Murthy, the director of the institute, who is periodically monitoring the progress, and he is one of the backbone in bringing up this mostly in the time. So on behalf of the institute, I sincerely thank everyone for the gathering who is here and witnessing the inauguration of this building. Thank you very much.
Now, may I request the gathering and the dignitaries to please stand up for the national anthem, please.
Janagana mana adhinayaka jaya he Bharat bhagya vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Uchala Jaladhi Taranga तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता